Morning. Just thought I'd do a little video that shows you the new Seat Leon media entertainment system in a bit of detail. I've spent a bit of time looking on YouTube for videos of the sort and couldn't really find anything that went into that much detail, so I thought I'd do this one for you guys. So to start off with, this is the main home screen. You get everything from your radio, media, navigation, all down to the vehicle settings here, which starts off with all your sort of consumption, fuel consumption stats. You can go through the various options it gives you there. And then you can dive a bit deeper into the settings you can change in the car, so we'll just go through these now. You've got all the various headlight options there. I'm yet to fully figure out what all these do, but some of those are quite self-explanatory. So you've got your automatic headlight control with rain, convenience turn signal, which basically puts on the left or right fog light depending on which way you're indicating. And then this one's quite a cool feature. It's your coming home function or leaving home. So basically when you walk out your house in the morning and unlock your car at night, or when it's still dark should I say, the headlights will come on for however long you should want. So you can go up to 30 seconds and all the way down to 5 or off. And then you've got driving assistance, which again quite a handy feature. I actually saw this, well, not come into play last night, but I was on the motorway and moved out into a different lane behind a car, and I was a bit too close, and the car did alert me of that, which again it's a good feature if you're one of those drivers that don't fully pay attention. It's like your little guardian angel, stop you from going into the back of someone. Next we've got parking and manoeuvring settings, so Park Pilot, that's quite a funny name for it. When you put the car into reverse, the radio will dim down a bit to sort of keep the distractions at a minimum, allow you to focus on reversing. That's entertainment fading. Then you also have, again that sort of coincides with that, is the mirror, the passenger wing mirror. If you put the car into reverse, you can set the mirror so it'll lower down and give you a good view of the curb to make sure you don't curb your allies, which I've done a couple of times in the past, but I don't think I'll be doing that anymore with this nifty feature. Folding when parked, again pretty self-explanatory. Just when you lock the car, the wing mirrors will fold in. This car is fitted with automatic wipers, so again self-explanatory. When it starts raining, the wipers will come on automatically, and same again with that bottom one. When you put the car into reverse, the rear wiper will wipe once to sort of make sure that you can see where you're going backwards. What else have we got? Opening and closing. That's all to do with when you lock or unlock the car. So I've got it set at the moment where when I press the button to unlock the car, it'll only open the driver's door, but you can set it so it'll unlock the driver's door and the rear right passenger door, or all the doors. Lock automatically when driving. Again, when you set off, I think you probably when you're going over 10 or 15 mile an hour, all the doors will lock. And interior monitoring, I presume that's to do when the car's locked and alarmed. I don't know, I've had it in the past where you go to the shops and you've got your dog in the boot and you just lock the doors for a few minutes whilst you nip inside, and dog starts barking, sets off the alarm. So I'm guessing you can probably turn that off and it'll prevent that from happening in the future. Instrument cluster, Now that's all to do with, if I can't quite see it there, but you've got here in the middle all the sort of convenience features. So you've got your consumption, coolant temperature, oil temperature, your speed warning. You can't quite see that, can you? Tell you what, we'll go into that in a minute. So yeah, you've got all these here that you can select. Eco tips, basically it just tells you to take your foot off the clutch and put it into manual when you into neutral when you stop, so the start stop will operate. You've got your travelling time, distance travelled, average speed, digital speed display. Don't really see the point in that, as every car's had a speedo for the last who knows how many years. Speed warning, kind of good if you, or useful if you find yourself often creeping above the speed limit. It'll just give you a little sort of warning to tell you to slow down. Oil temperature, and what was the other one? Coolant temperature. It's not that much of a high performance car, so I don't quite see why you need them both, but better to have and not need than need and not have. Getting close to the bottom now, so time and date. Again, nothing special in there really. Units, guess you can just set these to your preference. Living here in the UK, I've got that all pretty much set to how we're normally used to reading it. Service, again, doesn't tell you that much really. And factory settings, probably just resets everything. So that's all those settings. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one more thing as well. Well, a couple of things. You've got your tyre pressure indicator. I had this on my old car, which was a Seat Ibiza. Not a very, didn't have too many bells and whistles, but one of the cool features it did have was this, and it came into play when I was driving down the motorway, probably about a year and a half after I had it. Told me that one of the tyres was running low, so I pulled over, checked the pressure. I think it was supposed to be about 32, it dropped down to about 24. That wasn't because it had a puncture or anything, it was just over time it had lost a bit of pressure. So you know, when it's only dropped a few psi like that, you don't really notice the difference in terms of handling, but best stay safe, eh? And then you've got your background lighting, which you can't really see it because it's better at night time, but you've got these lines here, these sort of ambient lighting, which you can change between 8 different preset colours. Unfortunately, you can't have it automatically cycle through like other cars on the market, but with this car being blue, I usually have it at blue. It seems to sort of complement it a little better. And then you've got these down here as well, so you can set the brightness of that. Obviously I always have it on bright. And then you've got little footwell lighting. Unfortunately that's just white, you can't really change the colour of that, but again, not a bad little thing to have. And I think that's about it with regards to all these settings. You've got your ESC, which is sort of like your traction control and electronic stability. Don't really see the point in turning that off. Again, best to remain safe. And yeah, that's about it with regards to all that. So we'll jump out of that. Then you've got your sat-nav. Don't really use it, to be honest, as the car comes with Android Auto, so you can connect your phone, your Android phone or your Apple phone. With me having an Android phone, Google Maps, it's so much better than any sort of sat-nav, standard sat-nav that I've ever come across. So yeah, just use that. It has all your traffic updates, alternative routes. Can't go wrong really. Traffic, I think this just mainly tells you about all your local traffic jams. Don't really see the point in it. No point in telling me about a traffic jam that's happening 150 miles away if I'm not even going down there, but I'm sure there's some people out there that'll find a use for it. Then you've got your telephone, which is connected to my phone at the moment, which is what this video is recording off. It tells you your battery level, your signal. Then you can add here up to, what I'm guessing, 12 contacts. I'm guessing if you've added one, you just click on any of those and it'll ring them straight away or whatever. You can dial number. It's quite intuitive, really. It's a lot better than any other sort of car's Bluetooth system I've come across in the past. Messages, this is pretty cool as well. Obviously I wouldn't recommend doing this whilst driving, but if you just sort of parked up somewhere, it gives you a full keyboard. You can just type the message away, and off you go. It's got all your inbox, your sent, your outbox, drafts, whoever has drafts. Type a message, you send it. Got all your contacts up there, back into your messages and settings. So select your mobile phone. There's not too much you can do in here really. Find it's more like pairing Bluetooth, pairing your phones up. Go back out of that really. The Bluetooth's good. I've not had any problems with regards to people hearing me or I being able to hear them. It all comes through pretty clearly. Then you have, but I don't often use a Bluetooth, quite simply because, like I said, the car comes with Android Auto, so I just plug the phone in. Can't show you that right now because the phone's, well, halfway back in the car and it's recording this video, but I will show you that at some point in the future. What else have we got? We've got media, so that will play. Well, I'm guessing that's playing off the other half's phone because I don't listen to that. But yeah, we'll pause that. So you've got all your different sources, Bluetooth audio auxiliary. You've got 2 USB sockets, one of those which is what you plug your phone into when you want to use the Android Auto. 2 SD card slots, one of those is always occupied with the sat-nav's maps on it. So there's one more spare one, which I can't ever think why I'd ever put that in there. Mainly, you know, you'd probably only mainly use it for music, which you just stream off Spotify or things of the sort. CD player, don't think I've got any CDs really. Again, it's all streamed online these days. What's this? So, well, there you go. It is streaming off other half's phone. Again, there's not too much you can do in there. Then we go back into the radio. Now, this car's got full DAB, so the amount of stations it picks up is quite phenomenal. Obviously, you've still got all your conventional FM and AM. Don't ever think I've listened to AM, quite simply because the quality is quite rubbish. So I usually leave it on DAB. You do every now and again get, you know, the station does drop out if you're going past a mast or something. That could interfere, but more often than not, if it's a local radio station that you're listening to, it'll just flick seamlessly over to FM, which is quite cool. And then when it gets the DAB reception back, it'll just go back onto that again. So yeah, you can go through all your different radio stations here. Sound system, to say it's a standard one, I could have upgraded it. The standard one does have a pack of good punch to it. Got all your radio stations there. You can see, you can sort of save them to your frequently used list, which is cool. Yeah, there's a lot of radio stations that you can pick from. You're hard pushed to find something that you don't like. What else have we got? Yeah, so it's all just different ways of looking at it really. Then we have, so if you can see there, you got this mode button. I do like that. So at the moment, being the frugal person that I am, it's on eco mode. The differences are, we'll go back onto that, You've got Eco, self-explanatory, it'll try and save as much fuel as possible. Normal, it's sort of like how it comes out the factory. Everything's sort of on average really. It's sports mode. You can see this little animation change as well to a nice racetrack. That tightens everything up, makes the car feel a bit more responsive. Doesn't save fuel, because that's the intention. You want to drive fast, who cares about saving fuel? And then you've got individual. So if you go into this, you can sort of see more what everything does with regards to the different modes. So if you are in Eco, you'd have your steering on normal, the engine on Eco, you'd have the air conditioning on Eco, which basically I think it just means that the aircon and your fan settings won't use as much petrol as if it was on normal. Then if you were to move it from Eco onto normal, everything's just sort of on normal. To be fair, before looking through this, I thought there was just normal and sport mode for the engine. I didn't know there was actually an Eco one, so it sounds like it could have the car could have 3 different maps, which is quite cool. So yeah, back onto normal, everything's just set on normal, and then when you go into sport, the steering gets heavier, feels a bit more responsive. The engine goes onto sports mode, so that just basically makes the throttle a bit more twitchier. You don't have to press it as hard to go as fast, and the aircon just goes on a normal, so there's no real efficiency in that one. But I'll just move it back onto Eco. To be fair, when it's on Eco mode, it still shifts. I can't really see any problem with having it in Eco mode. It's not like it makes the car incredibly slow. It's still enough to get you out of most situations. So yeah, I just usually tend to leave it on that. You've got your air conditioning settings, which sync that basically, because it's got dual zone climate control. You can see down there, if I just adjust this a little bit, I'm going to need to hold that down there, but you can see there, it's on off at the moment. So now that I've turned that up, it shows you the temperature of each side, but if I turn sync off, it'll turn just my side up or down, or if it's a passenger, it'll do their side sort of independently. But if you're just in the car by yourself, you just press the sync button, and then that matches both sides up, left and right, so it's sort of uniform throughout the car. There are a couple of vents in the back as well, which is quite cool. Make sure your rear seat passengers aren't too nippy in these coming winter months. So yeah, you've got your, it's not really heated front windscreen like all sort of Ford Focuses and whatnot, or your modern day Fords. It just sort of blows the fan on the window hot and at the top speed to try and demist it as quickly as possible. You've got all these down here which you can turn on and off individually, which I just usually have them all on. Auto, I've never used that, to be honest. If I'm hot, I'll turn it down. If I'm cold, I'll turn it up. Don't need the car to tell me how I'm feeling. And yeah, that's about it. You've got your aircon there, and then aircon max. And I'd say that's probably about it with regards to this touchscreen system and what you can do on it. There will be more stuff that you can do, but that's probably the main bulk of it. You've got the settings for the screen there, so you can have them laid out differently. What else have you got? Turn that off. You've got your brightness, which I always set to very high. Might as well be able to see it. Your touchscreen tone, that just makes a little bing each time you tap the screen, which I'll just leave off anyway. Clocking standby mode, that's quite cool. Turn it off, you can see there's a nice clock, and you can swipe to change different ones. Yeah, I usually leave it on that one because it's the quickest and easiest to read, really. So I'll turn that back on. Yeah, that's about it, really. Voice control, not really done too much with this, to be honest with you, because the majority of the time my phone is connected via Android Auto, so I'll just press the button on the steering wheel and tell Google what I want, which is pretty much accurate every time. Yeah, if I think of anything else, I'll be sure to add it in the comments below. But images, again, a pointless thing. You can put an SD card in the slot, preloaded with some images on, and then look at images. Why you'd ever want to do that, I don't see the point. But hey ho. Sounds, got all your different volume settings there. Entertainment fading while parking, that's the one I touched on earlier. It's a good one, is that when you're reversing it just sort of dims the radio down a bit so you don't have music blasting. Maximum switch on volume, quite a good one that. I'd have that turned down, because when you're getting in your car in the morning, you don't want your radio blasting as soon as you put the key in the ignition, waking up all your neighbours. Sound focus, can have that, so that'll just basically change your fade and your balance. If you put it on driver, it'll do it so most of the sound gets focused towards the driver, but I just tend to have it on all. There you go, you can, so on that setting I just told you about, it sort of have it there, which you can hear the difference, but I just have it there in the middle. Turn that back off because I don't like that annoying clicking. The equalizer, quite cool. You've got 5 different levels of, well, not levels, 5 different sliders to adjust there, and I'm guessing 10 levels of adjustment, so that's how I have mine set up. Like the trebles high and the bass pumping, why not? Yeah, I think, is there anything else that I can think of? I'll quickly show you the sat nav. So it's quite basic. Well, it's not quite basic. Change how you want it to look there. Split screen. Teaching. Yeah, so as you can see, I barely use this, to be honest. Don't understand the split screen. I'm sure that when you do that, it's supposed to yeah, have half the screen being the sat nav. I've had it work like that before. For some reason, it's not doing it now. So it tells you how high you are, as you know, with relation to sea level. Let's see how quickly this navigates. So say I wanted to go to London, don't really know where, just London. Type London, click go. It presumes that's the centre of London, so we'll click start.
The routes are being calculated.
Very robotic voice there. So it gives you,
please select a route.
Alright, so I think that's the most direct route, so that's probably the shortest. That'll be the quickest route, and that is probably the most efficient route, but to be fair, time wise they're practically identical. Those two distance wise are practically the same. I'd probably choose that one because it's, well, you're going to put the least number of miles on your car, so we'll just click that one for the sake of ease.
There are toll roads on the route.
So there you go, just like that. It's on.
Please make a U-turn if possible.
Passable, that means possible. Yeah, So I'm guessing along the route, if you click route, route details, enter destination, so you can probably put in like a waypoint there, stop off somewhere, petrol station or something. View, yeah, that's the sat nav in a quick look. Route options, so you can get it to suggest 3 alternative routes. Most you can change that between economical, fast and short. Most frequent routes, dynamic route, don't quite know what that is. I'll have to read the instruction manual on that. Get it to avoid different roads. Probably the most useful in a car anyway. It's probably toll roads. You can imagine if you're in quite a tall vehicle, I don't know, you might want to avoid tunnels or something. Or if you're towing a trailer, there are certain restrictions around the UK with that, so you can click that and it'll find a more appropriate route for you.
Calculated.
Maximum speeds, it sort of tells you what the maximum speeds are in various locations or situations. Get it to display various things depending on your preference. And fuel options, what's that? Select preferred fuel station. Well, that's quite cool. So if you only ever want to go to, say, I don't know, Shell, click that and it'll probably only tell you about Shell ones. I don't know if you've got a Shell fuel points card or whatever. The only one I've got is Morrison's. So we'll turn that back off, but manage memory, yeah, so that's sort of the sat nav. Points of interest, gas stations, so you click that, it's probably going to bring up a list of all the closest petrol stations near me. I know for a fact that ain't the closest one, but it might be the closest in London. No, where is East Ardsley? Could do with being a bit more efficient, that, but worked better a few days ago. It popped straight up with my closest one, which was quite good. If the car gets down to, I think, 45 miles of petrol, it will pop up saying that you're running low. Do you want to find any petrol stations? Click find the closest one, and it 9 times out of 10 brings it up straight away. Yeah, that is probably it, I would guess. You got your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and MirrorLink. I tried MirrorLink. It basically mirrors your phone's display. It's extremely clunky. I would suggest if you've got a phone that was made in the last couple of years, definitely use the Android Auto or Apple Play. It's so much more fluid and less clunky. Yeah, I would say that's about it really. So that's the media system. The aircon unit, the fans and whatnot, quite good. And yeah, I'll show you all about the ins and outs of Android Auto in another video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.